Hello everyone, my name is Chance Brunton and welcome to Faster Than Light, also known as FTL. FTL is an indie roguelike game that is set in space. Your job is to deliver data important to the Federation fleet, who is currently engaged in a civil war against rebels. But every step of the way, rebels will be hunting you down and trying to destroy your ship. You can select from a variety of different ships in this game. We can see there's a list here that shows a lot of it. I deleted my profile before this so that I don't have any of the ships unlocked, and we can kind of work through them in the normal order that you would. So the default starting ship is the Kestrel. There's only one layout for it, layout A, and this is what we will be using for our first run. Now this is a roguelike game, so every time you die, you have to return to the beginning. So we'll be coming back to this area a lot and restarting from scratch with different ships. I'm going to play on normal difficulty. This is a very difficult game, so easy might be more appropriate. But I'm going to try it, and I'll enable all sorts of additional content from the Advanced Edition. Now, in this game, you can rename your ship and your crew, so instead of the Kestrel, we'll be playing with the Enterprise, and our crew will start with Kirk, Spock, and Scotty. And then hopefully we'll pick up some additional crew members as time goes on. The Enterprise is currently under maintenance, and so everybody is away, but unfortunately, then the Federation got attacked. So that's the story we'll be sticking with. Alright, let's get started. The data you carry is vital to the remaining Federation fleet. You'll need supplies for the journey, so make sure to explore each sector before moving on to the next. But get to the exit before the pursuing rebel fleet can catch up. Tip: cloaking. Cloaking prevents enemies from firing on your ship or charging their weapons. It also increases your base evasion by 60. Alright, we'll go into that in a little bit more detail. I don't think cloaking is going to be important for us to know about for quite some time. So this is the interface that we'll be using. Starting in the top left, I'll explain what everything does. So in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, we have the hull, which is the life of the ship, and that's represented by the green bars. When that hits 0 and all the bars are depleted, then the ship is destroyed and we have to start over. Just underneath the health bar, we have some various stats for the ship. On the left, we have a little counter showing the shield status. Currently, we have 1 shield bubble enabled, and we can see a little bit more about how exactly the shield functions when we see it in action in combat. Then we have our fuel counter showing how many jumps we have left. That'll make more sense when we look at the map. We have 8 missiles currently equipped, and we have 2 drone parts. Now this ship is currently not equipped to use drones, so the drone parts are a bit irrelevant. We have 15% evasion currently. That's the chance that shots will miss. And we have full oxygen. Below, we can see all of the different crew members. If you scroll over them, you can see the different skills they have, like piloting, engines, shields, etc. By working different stations, people get different specialties, and they become better at their jobs. There's also a couple of buttons here which have hotkeys. Let's see, it's slash and enter. Okay. So these allow you to save positions for your crew and return the crew quickly to their positions, which is nice because people will be specialized. So currently we can take, let's see, Scotty. Oh, I thought you could use numbers to select them. You can take Scotty and we'll put him in the engines. Spock will get weapons, and Kirk will have to get the cockpit because there isn't anybody else currently available. Now, just to the right of the health bar, there's the current scrap total. Scrap is our currency, and we'll be using that anytime we go to a store. There is a jump button we'll come back to in the top middle of the screen, and this opens the map for us so we can travel. Then we have the ship info screen here, which provides detailed information on all our systems, allows us to upgrade, allows us to customize our crew members, and see everything that is currently on our ship. There's also the settings menu if we want to adjust anything there and view achievements. In the lower left-hand corner of the screen, we have a meter showing how much reserve power we have from our reactor. And to the right of that are most important systems. So our ship currently has shields, engines, a med bay, and an oxygen generator, plus also the weapons systems. So shields, fairly self-explanatory. We'll see more about that in combat. Engines give you a chance to dodge if they're powered up properly. The medbay heals all of your people. Oxygen maintains and restores the oxygen supplies on your ship. For weapons, we have a missile launcher, and we also have a burst laser that fires 3 shots at a time. Now, all of these systems can be powered or depowered separately and to various extents. So currently, right now, we can see we have 1 out of 2 possible pips under engine power. We can increase power to the engines and we get more dodge, but then we have less reserve power. If we want to power up our missiles and our lasers, then that'll take 3 power-ups. So we don't have enough power to arm all of our weapons and arm the engines. Of course, if we don't want the missile launcher, we could power up the engines and get more dodge. So there's a bit of a game to be played here in managing your power to the various systems. Now, in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, we have subsystems. And the subsystems are piloting, sensors, and doors. And those can be a little bit more important than they seem at first. So sensors is what allows us to see all of the inside of our ship. I believe advanced sensors will even let you see into the enemy ship. But that tells you if there's boarding parties, if there's fires. It can actually be a bit of a problem if you're blind from any number of reasons, damage to the system or being in an area with a particular blinding effect. That can be an issue if you don't recognize half your ship's on fire. I've had some pretty nasty encounters with that, and I'm pretty sure most everyone has who has played this for any amount of time. The doors system, when upgraded, allows you to make the doors harder to break through, which is really important for boarding parties. It can also act as a fire containment system. So that's a brief rundown of all of the different systems and things that are available on the interface. This will all become, much clearer when we get to see how things work in action. So let's go ahead and start jumping right now. This is the map of this current sector. Now, this game will hop through multiple sectors, assuming we survive long enough. I think there's 8 or 10 sectors to get to our final destination. I can't quite remember how many. And each sector will look roughly like this. But the sectors are always randomly generated every run-through. So if we come back with another ship, then our sector will be very different, and our experience will be pretty different. And there's a lot of different options available, so it takes quite a while before you start to really know everything. Okay, so we can hop to any of these adjacent locations connected by green dotted lines. We don't get a lot of information about where we're going to hop to unless there's a special circumstance, like we have maps ahead of time or whatnot. We can see there is a distress beacon. That could be a trap from pirates, but it could also be somebody who's legitimately in need of help. Either way, it's probably something we want to check out. You actually want to fight people in this game, because you're going to have to fight eventually, and early on you want to fight as many low-level battles as you can to be able to save up resources to upgrade your ships so that you can handle the later ships. because later they're going to get quite powerful. Like I said, this game is very difficult, and the difficulty curve is quite steep. Now, the fleet is pursuing us, so we have to be careful to move quickly, but we want to move as slow as possible while staying ahead of them, because the more jumps we can hit, the more places we go, the more resources we get, the more we'll be able to upgrade our ship and the better off we'll be. So there is a bit of time management there. So let's look. If we mouse over the different locations, we can see kind of where they're connected to, and we can plot out a route through the system that gives us as many jumps as possible. Although we do have to be concerned about fuel. This is where the fuel that I mentioned earlier comes in. Every jump consumes 1 fuel, and you have to find stores to be able to replenish it. So you do want to make sure that you are careful not to run out, because that can end your game right there. It's not necessarily a complete game over, because you can activate a distress beacon like these people, and maybe someone will come and help you, but then again, maybe somebody will come and just blow you up and take your stuff. It is a hostile galaxy in this game. So I'm inclined to go down the bottom of the sector because we can go through this little nebula here, and the nebula slows down the pursuing fleet. Although, I do want to hit the distress beacon. So I'm thinking we can swoop down a little bit and cheekily get this little point here just before the fleet catches up with us, and then we can race forward, hit the distress signal, go through the nebula, and then make our way up to the exit. That might be a little bit ambitious, but we'll see if we can get away with it. Okay, first jump. We came across a rebel ship. You stumble across a forward scout of the rebel fleet. They're powering up their FTL. If they get away, they will no doubt warn the fleet of your position. Okay, this is not good, because this is already an ambitious route, and if they get away and warn the fleet will be on us much quicker than they otherwise would have been. So let's power down our engines a little bit and power up our missiles. I should also note that the game is currently paused, so combat takes place in real time, but I can pause the game whenever needed so that we can think about what kind of strategy to employ. Now, if we look down at our weapons real quick, we can see exactly what they do. So missiles will breach through shields. They can also cause fire and stun people. And the lasers are just plain and simple. They just do normal damage. But we do have a burst laser, which is nice. The shield penetration is really good. We do have to be worried about the limited number of missiles, though, so we want to use these kind of sparingly. I generally like to use the missiles, if I'm going to use them at all, to take down the enemy shields and then allow the lasers to do the rest of the work. If we look at the enemy ship, you can see that they have a lot of the same systems that we do. Oxygen, shields, weapons, engines, piloting, and they also have a drone control. We can target those systems individually to try and damage them and take them out. The ship interior is gray because we can't see it, but they do have people in there who are also doing repairing and things. So we have to be concerned about that. That can be important later when we have boarding parties or anti-bio weapons or other factors. So to the left of our weapons icons, we see a little bar. This is going to go up over time. This is the cooldown for our weapons to fire. They can only fire on intervals. So we're going to have to wait a little bit for that. However, their weapons also have to charge. Now this little thing flying around us, this is their drone. That's actually bad. Their drone is going to keep plucking away at us and taking down our shield. If you look closely at our shield, you'll notice that every time it absorbs a shot, it goes down. And then up in the upper left-hand corner where we can see our shields display, there's a little bar that shows how fast the shield is recharging to be able to take another shot. When the shield absorbs a shot and it's down, then people can fire and any additional shots will pass right through to the ship. That's why there's four little bubbles up here on the shield display. With higher level shields, you can get multiple layers of shielding. Currently, we only have one shield and the enemy only has one shield. So only one shot is required to take it down. But you can get up to 4, which is very difficult to get down without heavy armaments. Now our missiles are fully charged and our laser is about to be charged. So I'm going to fire a missile shot and take down the shields. And then I'm going to fire the burst laser at their weapons system. And try and take that down before we take any additional damage. Oop! Oh, crap. They hit the weapon system. I didn't even see that. Okay, so they depowered the laser because the weapon system is broken. If you look at the icon on the weapon system, you can see that it's orange. That means that it's partially damaged. If it was fully broken, it would be red. If we look down at the little bars here to the side of our weapons counter, this shows the total power usage of the weapons system in general. We can see that the top power bar is red. That's actually because it's broken and we can't use it. So I'm going to depower the missiles and then divert remaining power back to the burst laser. Now, while it was unpowered, it lost some of its charge, so we're going to have to wait for that to build back up again. But it's going to take them a little bit to repair their shields, so we should have plenty of time. And now we can fire. Let's take down their weapons before they can do any more damage to us. Excellent. Now, their weapon system is completely wrecked right now, and they won't be able to return fire until they repair it. Their drone can still take pot shots at us, but I don't think it can shoot us faster than our shield can regenerate. Yeah. So we're actually safe right now from that. So let's try and take out their piloting. If we take out their piloting, they'll have no evasive capabilities, and they won't be able to escape. We don't want them to get away. Excellent. And then the next system that we'll have to shoot at is probably the shields again, just to keep the... Or no, they brought weapons back online. Let's hit the weapons again. So the burst fire laser is really nice because it has 3 shots, and the first shot can absorb the shield, and then the other 2 can actually hit. Okay, there we go. Their ship breaks apart, and you are relieved to know that you are still one step ahead of the fleet. Gain 1 fuel, 2 missiles, and 18 scrap. So that's nice. That fuel pays for the cost of jumping to this system. We actually gained 1 missile, because we used 1 up as well. And then we got 18 scrap on top of it. We did take a little bit of damage to our hull, but I think it'll cost like 4 scrap to repair that. So we still came out with a net positive on that. So that is wonderful. Now, I didn't mention it during combat, but right after you jump to a system, there is a delay before you can jump again. If you have to retreat, that's very important. But our FTL drive automatically spooled all the way up as soon as the enemy was destroyed. So now we can reactivate, press the jump button, and go to the next system. And the rebels still haven't shown up, but they probably will after the next jump, I'm guessing? They will come very soon, I guarantee that. You discover a nearby planet speckled with settlements, although none respond to your hails. Oh, okay. So nothing is actually happening in this sector. Now we can start to see the encroaching rebel fleet. This little line here represents where they will be after our next jump. So they won't quite be at the sector we're in after our next jump, but we'll be leaving them behind anyway. Oh. A pirate ship was lying in wait inside this asteroid field. It immediately moves in to attack. Turn and fight. Okay. Let's do the same thing over again. We'll charge our weapons, then we'll hit their shields. Oh, we may not even need to hit their shields and waste a missile. Oh, we'll do it just so that they get some damage on them. 1 missile's not so bad. Oh, okay. You get a frantic message. Take everything we have! Just don't kill us! And then they can offer us 1 fuel, 1 drone part, and 9 scrap. Now, if we destroy their ship, we get to salvage wreckage. But there's no guarantee we'll be able to salvage as much as this. We might get less if we destroy their ship, but we might also get more. So the question is this a good offer? Of course, if you want to play for roleplay, it also depends on what you'll do. We are playing as the Enterprise, and I believe the Enterprise would probably accept surrender. So we can go ahead and do that for now. But honestly, this isn't a very good deal. We would probably be better off if we did not accept surrender. But we'll let them live. We'll be peaceful. This, by the way, is a asteroid belt. So you can see every once in a while rocks will come along and hit the shields and take them down. That can make this quite dangerous because it really gives the enemy the ability to get through, but it works both ways. You can also take them out with the asteroids as well. Okay, let's jump again and go to the distress signal. Now we can start to see area where the Rebel fleet is currently present in this red striped zone, as well as where they will be after their next jump. So they're catching up to us quick. Let's check out this distress beacon. You find the source of the distress call, a small research station. It appears a small laboratory fire got out of control and is threatening to destroy the station. Their fire suppression system is not responding. We can send our crew in a shuttle to help the survivors, dock and try and rescue the survivors, or we can just leave. So if we send a crew in a shuttle to help put out the fire, I'm guessing there's a chance they won't be coming back. But if we dock and try and rescue, then we might incur damage to our own ship. And we can also leave to avoid anything. I think the Enterprise would help. So the question is, which is the better way of helping? I'm going to go with docking because damage to the ship is more acceptable at this point than damage to the crew, because we are really running a skeleton crew here. You pull up alongside the station and cut through their hull. You are able to rescue a few survivors, but many more are lost. One of the survivors offers to join your crew, and you offload the rest on a nearby station. Excellent! Welcome aboard! So we can go to the settings menu. Sorry, not settings. We can go to the ship menu up here, and we can see our crew member so that we can customize. Okay, so our newest character is Dr. McCoy. Now, there is no benefit to staffing him in the medical bay. So even though you are not a shields expert, I am going to have to put you in shields. That's where you will be most useful. But that's good. Now we have 4 people, and I should save their stations so that I can readily return them. I should mention there is a benefit to staffing people in these systems. You might have guessed that from the fact that they can level up. So having a good pilot increases your invasion. Having a good person and weapons increases the rate at which your weapons recharge. Engines also gives you evasion, and staffing the shields gives you a faster shield recharge rate. Alright, let's take a look at the next area. So we will jump down towards the nebula now, hoping to delay their search for us by hiding in the nebula. You come out of the jump to see laser blasts coming from the other side of the beacon. It looks like someone is under attack from pirates. I'll aid the civilian ship. You power your weapons and engage the pirate ship. Okay, so now we're back to a normal battle. We'll go with our ordinary routine. We'll hit their shields with our missiles, and we will knock out their weapons with our lasers. They seem to have some kind of beam weapon that can do a lot of hull damage, and a burst laser, or just an ordinary laser, to take out our shields. Okay, shields and weapons are down. Next thing we'll target is their piloting to make sure they can't get away. Now, they have hit us rather badly in the oxygen room and the engines. Now, the oxygen room isn't much of a problem because we do have quite a bit on board the ship, but we need to take care of that because our oxygen will slowly deplete without it. What makes that worse is the fact that the fires will also eat up a bunch of oxygen, as well as damage systems. Now, Scotty is handling the fires down in engineering. With their weapons disabled, we're not in too much of a rush until they bring their weapons back online. So we don't really need the weapons recharge rate. That means that I'm going to send Spock from weapons into oxygen so that he can begin putting out the fire and conducting repairs. The weapons system will just have to manage on autopilot. Oh, they brought a weapon back online. That's not good. That's actually their beam weapon, which can cause fires and extensive damage to multiple rooms. I'm going to... Ooh, should I fire a missile? If I fire a missile, it'll use one up, but it'll prevent them from firing back. No, I'll just incur whatever damage, and then we'll repair it later. Come on. They are repairing their ship very quickly. Now, you might not have seen it there, but when our shield was up, their beam weapon was not actually able to hit us. The beam has no penetration power against shields, so as opposed to a laser. So they need something else to take the shields down before that beam can fire. The pirate ship breaks apart. You hasten to contact the civilian ship. The civilian ship wisely made a fast retreat while you were distracting the hostile ship. Okay. Good for them. We at least got some good scrap from the wreckage, so I'm not too concerned about it. Let's put out these fires before they can do any serious harm. And then we'll heal up our people in the medical bay. Oh god, these fires are really spreading. We'll heal up our people in the medical bay before going to the next jump. Now, we do have to watch their health bars fairly carefully because they could die trying to fight these fires. So, yeah, I'm going to actually pull Spock back. Let's get Kirk and McCoy down here to help, because this is actually getting out of control. Or, in fact, better idea. Let's pull our injured back to the med bay. And then, oh god, did I wait too long? Oh, that was close. Let's open some doors here to vent the rooms that are on fire to space. By venting the oxygen, we can stop the fires before they spread too much more out of control, because they are really spreading. I don't remember them spreading like this. Oh, and there you can see we had some hull damage done when they took out our weapon system with the fire. But it's okay now. All the fires are out. Now we just have to repair our systems. So let's send everybody in real quick. Oh, there still isn't oxygen back in these systems. There's a hotkey to open the doors. What is it? Z. Okay. We'll open the interior doors to help spread some oxygen. Alright, and then let's heal people back up. Okay, now that we've healed up and we've repaired everything, let's jump into the next sector. Let's see if we can get through this sector before we end the episode. And then we'll start the next episode in the next sector. A black market weapons trader spins you a tale of the dangers of the nebula before pushing his wares. Ignore the ship, attack the ship, or purchase an unknown weapon for 45 scrap. I'm interested. I want to see what this unknown weapon is. It could be something useful. Or not. I'll go ahead and do it. You transfer the scrap and receive a weapon in return. Let's hope it was worth it. Alright, we got a Pegasus missile launcher. Now, ooh, it takes a lot of power. Shots per charge 2, so it fires 2 missiles at a time for 2 damage. I think that's each? Or it might be total, I'm not sure. Possible effect, breach, fire, and stun. I'm not sure if this uses 2 missiles to fire 2 shots, or if it uses 1 missile to fire 2 shots. If it's the latter, it's actually quite nice. But if it's the former, it kind of sucks. I wish we could test that out, but it would use all the power of our weapon system to be able to fire this thing. So we'll hold on to it for now, not like we have much choice, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so now the question is, how risky can we play this? How much do we think we can get away with cutting it close here? Can I jump to this location, then jump in the nebula, and jump to the exit? Let's go for it. Let's live dangerously. You detect a rebel scout on an attack approach to a small refueling outpost. Their weapons are charged, but they're not firing yet. Okay. Intervene to defend the outpost. The rebel responds to your threat. I don't know who you are, but no one defies the rebel fleet. They move in to engage. Okay, power up our missiles and our burst laser, the Artemis missile, that is. And then, same as always, missiles on shields, lasers on weapons. The missile charges a little bit faster than our laser, which is good, so that'll fire first to help take out the shields. Excellent. Weapons are down, shields are down. Next, we'll target their piloting. They took out our oxygen and our engines again, but we can afford to wait to do anything. We'll just leave everybody doing their jobs here. Oh, they brought weapons and shields online. Now, they only had one shield to begin with, so I'll just target their weapons. And didn't really even matter. They couldn't repair in time. The ship breaks apart, and you quickly salvage what you can. 1 fuel, 2 missiles, 13 scrap. Okay, not bad. Ooh. The outpost hails you. Those pompous bastards expected free service just because they defeated the Federation. Take this for the help. 2 fuel and 17 scrap. Excellent. Okay, so let's repair all of our systems, and then we'll see what's in the next sector. We've only got 46 scrap, so we need to collect a little more before we go to a store. We might actually sell this Pegasus missile launcher if we can find a store with anything we want to buy anytime soon. Oh, man. Next jump, the Rebel fleet will be where we currently are. We are just skirting ahead of them. Fortunately, the nebula will slow them down a lot. It's hard to see why, but this beacon is apparently a tourist destination. One of the ships at a small station is offering a deal. Trade 2 missiles for 3 drone parts. If it was the other way around, I'd take it, but we don't need drone parts and we do need missiles, so I'm going to ignore that and just jump to the next spot. A pirate ship arrives shortly after you. Judging from the fact that it is attempting to avoid your ship, you assume that it is a smuggler trying to stay away from beacons. Okay, well, let's attack them because we need stuff. You power up your weapons and move in to engage. Oh, they have an ion gun. So the ion gun won't do any damage, but it can disable the system temporarily, which can be quite nasty. But it doesn't look like it's going to be a problem in this case. They look like they don't want to fight. They are trying to escape. Yeah, but I won't get anything if you escape, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to say no to that. Come on, charge. There we go. The debris implies that the ship was carrying drone schematics, but unfortunately nothing remains. You do find functioning drone parts, however, and 16 scrap. Okay, we are well ahead of the Rebel fleet. That's nice. You nervously glance out the windows, but the only thing to greet you is more clouds and silence. An especially well-armed pirate ship approaches you. Hand over one of your crew members, and the rest of you can go free unharmed. Draw straws and surrender a crew member, or say we'll never surrender to the slavers. Oh yeah, we'll never surrender. But these guys are a bit of a problem because they have a Zoltan shield that's going to eat up a lot of damage. And I don't believe the missile launcher can actually penetrate that. But the missiles will do damage to it, and that shield won't replenish. So we only have to take it out the once, and we just did, but it took our whole first volley to take out their shields, which is not ideal. Oh, but they'll go down soon enough. We surrender! Take one of our slaves as tribute! If you destroy us, they'll all die anyway. I mean, I need scrap and stuff more than a crew member, but okay. I'll save one new crew member. Okay, welcome aboard Chekhov. Now, this hasn't come up before, but Chekhov here is not human. He's an alien. There are a few different kinds of aliens you can get to work on your ship. Actually, where do I put you? That's an interesting question because there aren't a lot of systems here that would benefit. So, by putting them in doors or in sensors, I can get a system that is functioning a little bit better than they normally would, like a higher level. What is level 2? Level 2 allows us to see the enemy interior. Okay, sure. I'll put you there. I mean, really, you should be at the helm, but Kirk is already getting good at the piloting, so we'll just leave it at that. Okay. Next beacon. We're doing pretty good. The hull's not very damaged yet. Once you arrive, your screen lights up with warnings. A nearby pirate seems to have advanced hacking tools, and they have tried to shut down your engines. Your crew manages to keep them barely operational, and you move into attack. Okay. They have hacking tools? Is that just an event, or... Yeah, that's just an event. Okay, that's fine. There is actually a hacking weapon that can disable systems, so that's what I was concerned about. Now, with Chekhov and sensors, we can see the inside of their ship. We can see that they have a Mantis pilot and an NG in the shields. We'll get to see them move to repair things. Also, an interesting thing to note, this ship has a cloning bay instead of a medical bay. So, if we managed to kill any of their crew, they would actually come back. Alright, they had to pull their pilot for repairs. That means that they've got no evasion as well. So, all the shots from our laser should hit. Oh, one will be absorbed by the shield, though. That's unfortunate. That's okay. One more volley will easily take care of them. They've got no evasion and only one shield. With the pirate ship destroyed, your ship's system is restored to full functionality. You salvage what you can from the debris. 2 fuel and 12 scrap. Yeah, we can start looking for a store now. This is good. Your jump leads to a completely unremarkable binary star system. There is nothing else around. Alright, let's go... The exit beacon is our only choice from here. So, we'll have to look for a store in the next system, or sector. You've arrived at the long-range beacon. When the FTL drive is charged, you can jump to the next sector. You spot a small rebel ship nearby. It seems to have been refitted for transport rather than combat. It does not seem to want to engage you and your ship. We can use your goods, so you're gonna have to give it to us. You prepare to secure their cargo by force. Oh, okay. They're gonna fight us for it. But it looks like they don't want to fight. They're trying to escape. Well, we really can't have that. Sorry, boys. This is war. Okay, they didn't even target a system with their missile. I believe you can do more hull damage by targeting empty rooms, I think. I'm not quite sure about that. But I'm actually a little more concerned about systems going down than raw hull damage. Oh, let's go ahead and fire one more missile to just take out their weapons. Actually, that was probably a bad idea. We don't have a lot of missiles, but I got impatient. The ship was transporting weaponry. You find a piece still intact despite the battle. A hull missile. Okay, so this does twice as much damage on systemless rooms, with a possible effect of breach fire and stun, normal damage 2. Okay, I guess all the missiles do normal damage 2. So the hull missile is just like our current missile, except that it does double damage on rooms without a system, and it uses 1 additional power to do it. We don't have a lot of power at the moment. We might think about upgrading our ship. Let's go ahead and jump to the next system, sector real quick, and we'll see if there's a ship nearby, or a store nearby. So this is the sector map. At the end, we can see the hostile sector where our destination is, and we get to choose the route we take to do that. Hostile systems, I think, well, hostile systems will generally provide us more of a chance for loot. Friendly systems will give us more of a chance for stores. Nebulas can slow down the enemy's pursuit and give you a good chance to explore around. They can also block sensors, I think, in nebulas. So there's a Zoltan controlled and an NG controlled. Let's go with NG. Let's go with Zoltan, because I think there's a higher chance that we'll pick up a Zoltan crew member, and they're used... Or no, actually, hold on. If we go to Zoltan controlled, we'll have to go to a hostile sector after that. Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing, to get a hostile sector in 3 as our third sector. and then we get some friendly sectors in the later ones. I'm not actually sure if a hostile sector is a good idea or not, frankly, because of the rewards you get from killing people. Let's go with it, and if we pick up a Zoltan crew member, they'll be quite helpful. The Zoltan patrol their borders, but let you pass when you ID as Federation. Let's hope they won't be so courteous to the rebels. Alright, so there's nothing going on here. When we look at our map, I don't see any store nearby, so we might upgrade the ship a little bit. But we'll worry about that next time, because right now this episode is already going on quite long thanks to the opening explanation of how everything works. So let me know if you have any questions about any of this, and whether or not you enjoy this. FTL is one of my favorite games, so I'm really excited to be able to share it. And there's a link down in the description below if you want to pick it up. It's real cheap and really worth it. Alright, so thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!